Hello, everybody. Welcome. Johannes Fisslinger here, founder of Lifestyle Prescriptions University. And thank you for being part of National Yoga Month, for celebrating National Yoga Month all over the world. Obviously, it's a national observance in the US. Every September is National Yoga Month. It's all about healthy and conscious living. And as you probably might know, if you follow me for a while, that's really my passion for like 30 years now, 40 years almost. Doing things like campaigns like National Yoga Month, the Lifestyle Medicine Summit, campaigns that really inspire you to live healthier, more conscious, because there's so many benefits and there's so many things we can do, obviously, just by changing lifestyle, right? And that's also obviously what Lifestyle Prescriptions University is about. And today, I want to specifically guide you through a Lifestyle Prescriptions organ, mind, brain yoga class. Now, I'm going to give you a little background, 5 or so minutes, and then it's about a 15-20-minute class. And at the end, make sure you stay until the end, because you probably never have done that, but you're going to write yourself a lifestyle prescription, right? Which is not a medicine prescription. No, it is about a specific new habit that you integrate into your life, not just food, nutrition, exercise, but actually very much about your emotions, the stresses you have in your life, the limiting thoughts and conflictive thoughts that we have, the social environment, and obviously the lifestyle choices, which we call the 6 root causes, right? And that book, by the way, if you go to lifestyleprescriptions.tv, you can download the book and a starter kit and a video to dive deeper into it. But, I've been doing yoga for like 25 years plus, or longer actually, and meditation, mindfulness, and combining them with the organ-mind-brain connection or organ-mind-brain anatomy. It makes sense, right? So you might ask, what is that? Let me ask you something. I assume you know and you agree that there's a mind-body connection, right? Which means our body influences our mind influences our body. We kind of know that. That's psychoneuroimmunology. That's common knowledge, common wisdom. But that is usually very vague, right? So yes, we meditate, we do yoga, we do all these wonderful things to influence our body or our mind to calm down, to live better, healthier. But what if this is just a starting point, that there is actually not just mind-body connection, but a very specific organ, like the lung alveoli, or the liver parenchyma, or the stomach mucosa, an organ tissue, part of an organ. There's a specific connection between that organ and our mind, which means certain stresses, how we perceive life, certain emotions, unresolved emotional hurts, our limiting belief, the conflictive thoughts that kind of pop into our head, right? The repetitive thoughts, and the life situation, what we've experienced in life, and our brain. That every organ in our body has a location in the brain, which we know a lot over the last 20 years or so through brain mapping. And so once we know that connection between our brain, organ, tissue, organs in our body, and life, and our mind, how we perceive life, how we feel our emotions, which emotions we feel, how we triggered into thinking different things, that moves us to a whole nother level. Because suddenly the body is this miracle temple, as we say in many spiritual practices. It's been said that a body is our temple. And now we know through organ, mind, brain anatomy that this is actually absolutely true. Our body is our temple. Our body is the seat of consciousness. And it is actually about biology, right? I've been in the holistic field, spiritual field, so long, and you always think about spirituality or like having higher experiences as something outside of us, but actually our body, every organ in our body has purpose. It's a reflection of consciousness. So what it totally makes sense, right? To learn and to understand and to use that inner knowledge. And one question that I'd like you to remember is whenever you have a body symptom, right? Or something feels like heavy or tense, then ask yourself, what's the purpose of that organ tissue? Why do I have it, right? Why do I have a skin, an outer skin? Why do I have a skeletal system? Why do I have a digestive tract, right? This is about anatomy and physiology. Hence, we called it organ, mind, brain anatomy. And so what I'd like you to do is, let me see here. Here we go. By the way, type into the chat box, just say hello, or say basically from where you're listening in. And if you have questions at the end, I hope I can answer some of the questions that you have after we went through the session. Now, I know a lot of shout out here. I know quite a lot of lifestyle prescription health coaches, our university students and graduates are listening in. Hi, everybody. Different type of class today. So type into the chat box, say hi. And before we get started, so first of all, I want you to make sure that you're in a relaxed space, that you have about 15 or so minutes available where nobody is distracting you. Just block out that time. It's your special time. Now, when we talk about lifestyle prescriptions or organ, mind, brain yoga, we talk about specific organs in our body and that they have specific function, purpose, and a specific connection to emotions and thoughts and conflictive type of life situations. And one of the root causes of health issues where we're not in our flow is actually a lack of energy. It's actually, most of us have different forms of lack of energy. Now, think about it. How, if you say, you realize you have a lack of energy, what do you do to raise that energy level? What do you do? Well, we have food, right? If you eat the right type, high quality foods, they give energy, obviously. Exercise gives you energy if it's the right type of energy, the right type of exercise for you. Environment, right? You change the environment, and that's obviously part of the 6 root causes, the lifestyle prescription approach, that we can change our environment, which then suddenly it doesn't rob us or it doesn't distract us so much to have more energy available. But there's one more way that we often forget, and that is our breath. And not just breathing, because we all breathe, right? But very conscious breath, conscious breathing into specific organ tissue in our body. And so, for example, if I have stomach mucosa, like, indigestive type of kind of highly sensitive stomach, then, well, it does make sense to use the organ, mind, brain approach to focus on that organ tissue and charge it up with energy, because as we know, every organ tissue in our body basically goes continuously through these 2 phases, right? Where we either have more stress, more activity stress on that organ tissue, or that organ tissue is repairing, regenerating. We call it the stress regeneration cycle, which is directly linked to the autonomic nervous system. So knowing that if we either in stress or if we are on regeneration at this moment of that organ tissue, right? Giving it energy helps us to go through this cycle so much better. And I don't know a better way than using conscious breathing. And what we combine basically with lifestyle prescriptions yoga is the knowing of what that organ tissue is about, what's the theme, what's the purpose of that organ tissue, using breath, using awareness, attention, and also using sound, which then connects brain, organ, and mind. So let's go through the session here, through the class, and then make sure you stay at the end, because that's at the end is the most important part of this talk or class, and I don't want you to miss that, okay? And what I'm gonna do, I turn my video off because I don't want you to be distracted with my hands or whatever I do, right? But I want you really to go inside and focus. So make sure you are in a comfortable position, however that works for you, sitting or even laying down. And again, make sure obviously you don't drive, you're not in a, you're not distracted. And what I'd like you to do, close your eyes, keep your eyes open or close your eyes. And pay attention to your breath. And you can do that at the belly, where you inhale, it widens, it's like the balloon, your belly balloon expands. And exhale, you let go. If you prefer, you can also just watch the nose, the nostrils, and feel the air come in and out. Basically, whenever you inhale, you widen your field, your body, inside of your body, you expand that field, that energy, that attention, right? And I might use more the traditional language, talk about organs, or I might use the more the energetic language, and both are okay. Whatever you prefer, take that. So first of all, feel into your body, feel your whole body from the head, shoulders, torso, down to the legs and the feet, and feel that field of energy inside of you. You might feel different tensions, or if you're very visual, you might see different colors. Just allow that to happen. And what I'd like you to do, just imagine or visualize or feel or even hear every single cell in your body. Think about it. Every single cell in your body. And ask your unconscious mind to connect deeply your breath with every single cell in your body and every organ in your body and your brain and your mind, the emotions, the thoughts that pop up, maybe the distractions, and just let it happen. We want to practice presence, and when we are present in the here and now, the unresolved emotions or our thoughts or repetitive thoughts or the body tensions start to dissipate. Now let's go deeper into our body. And you may know that the strongest part of our body is our skeletal system. And what I'm going to do, I guide you first through the skeletal system and then other organs. And maybe I share about possible stressors that are connected to symptoms that we might experience in our skeletal system. Or maybe emotions that we cannot let go, but will now. So move your attention into your skeletal system. Your higher mind, your wisdom knows where that is. Just give your mind, your attention, your awareness, your consciousness. Connect with your skeletal system, the bones, the muscles. Breathe in And whenever you exhale, you just let go. There's nothing you need to do. It's the same with the two phases, right? Inhale is active. You need to do something to inhale. But the exhale, you just totally let go. Nothing you need to do, really. Now, feel the skeletal, the bones around your head area. Skull. Take a soft breath into the skull. Inhale. And you might actually feel tensions more, which is a good thing. Welcome these little symptoms, as I call them. Maybe you feel the tension more, you feel like the pain more. Welcome them, because it is about saying yes, thank you, being appreciative. This is the first step of letting it go. So again, take a few breaths into the skull area, the head, the bones, all the muscles around the head. And know that the skeletal system in general is all about strength, right? It makes sense because it's the strongest part of our body. It makes us stand up straight. It holds us together. We stand tall with our skeletal system. And we've seen again and again, if you don't value us enough, if you feel self-devalued, if we feel somebody put us down, and even if it's just a perception, right? If we don't feel strength, and the head, the skull especially, is about more the mental type of strength or value. If you feel not smart, or if somebody puts us down, that can go shoulders to head, skull, and affect that part of our skeletal system. So just know, you let that go now. It's your choice. You can decide how to react, right? We cannot change really much. I mean, we can, but life happens. And what we can change is our perception and our reaction to life. And if we realize, if we make this connection, that is the beauty of lifestyle prescriptions, yoga, or health coaching, making the connection between what happens or happened in our life, the specific emotions and thoughts we had or felt, and specific organ symptoms. We have this, aha, wow, I had no idea this is the connection. Then we just decide we're letting it go. So skull, shoulders, feel the shoulders, the muscles, maybe even the bones, the ligaments. Take that breath, deepen the breath just a little bit or a lot. And know that typically, whenever we feel we have done something not to the best of our ability or what we think we should do, you know, if it's related in relationships or with our kids or business, that often affects our shoulders. It's like we carry heavy weight on our shoulders in terms of our value and our own perception of value or our expectations. So let that go now, knowing that it's your choice. And if you go down to the back of your spine, go towards the middle or lower back of your spine, and just feel any tensions there. Take a deep breath in. And what we've noticed in our health coaching work is with organ, mind, brain anatomy is that the lower back is very much about core strength. If we feel like we're not strong enough to do the job, to be in a relationship, to if it can be emotionally, be not strong enough to deal with emotional stress, then that very often goes to the lower back. And then for men, even I think more probably than for women. Feel that area and just know that you're going to be way more aware starting today about the strength that you have, the lack of that you think you don't have, and shift that. Because again, you decide which emotions you feel. Do you get angry if you feel like not strong enough? And is it from a 0 to 10? Is it a 10? Then you can decide to just lower that emotion, lower it to maybe a 1 or 0, just not feel that emotion at all, but feel another emotion that is more empowering to you. And you can even decide not to react, because the interesting thing is, typically, there are small triggers that trigger us into, as we call it, an organ, mind, brain reaction with physical mind and brain symptoms. Something like somebody says something to us. We see something, or we see somebody do something. And obviously also traumas and more intense type of life experiences obviously have a more intense effect on us. But now that you know, you have it in your power to make that change, to shift. Now, breathe in strength and value. You value yourself. You know you are good. Increase that self-value and go further down on the skeletal system, maybe from the hip towards the legs, the knees, and the feet. What you've noticed is that the feet and the legs are typically reacting with stressors that have to do with, breathe into them, feet, leg, the toes, breathe in deeply, with the perception of not being strong enough to move forward. Kind of makes sense, right? That's why we have legs. We move forward, we walk forward, we walk towards something. And if we perceive life or life situation as like, we can't do that, we can't move forward, then typically or very often the legs react with stress, pain. So now make a conscious effort that you charge up every cell inside the skeletal system, the bones, the ligaments, the fascia, the muscles. Breathe in strength, straighten up, stand strong. And if you do have some symptoms in the skeletal system, then that's something you might want to focus on over the next days. Just breathe in conscious awareness of your skeletal system, maybe a specific area like the right shoulder. Inhale, expand, exhale, and just let it go. There's nothing you need to do. Now let us go to the skin. The skin is fascinating. It's the biggest organ, the largest organ in our body. It's not just the outer skin, but inside the body, there's so many different variations of skin. But let's stick with the outside. If you think about it, why do we have the skin? Tune into the skin, maybe the arms, the face, your full body, right? Wherever you have skin, which is really everywhere. Feel that skin, every cell, every tissue. That skin, feel it, breathe in. Now, you may know that the skin has actually two layers. It has the epidermis layer, which is the thin, very thin outside layer, and underneath is a much thicker dermis skin layer. Now, the dermis is about protection. That's the skin that, biologically speaking, right, that is really made, we have that skin is kind of a protection against outside influence. And it's not just substances. It is verbal, emotional attack. Whenever we have a feeling we need to protect ourselves, then we can observe that under the microscope. Then the dermis skin becomes more active. It becomes thicker. I have one client, I remember that all she talked about how much she needs to protect herself, and had lots of acne and similar dermis type of skin symptoms. But we can make a choice, right? We don't need our body to help us protect. We can just make that decision that we are not affected by these outside attacks anymore. We don't need a strong emotional reaction. The thoughts, oh, I need to protect myself, disappear, because we shifted our awareness and our consciousness. And let's do this right now. Our skin, breathe into the skin. Become aware of the dermis layer underneath the thin epidermis layer in the skin, and just know that you're on your path to letting all these old emotions and stressors go. Now connect with the outside skin, that little tiny, super sensitive type of epidermis skin, which has to do with touch. Right? We all love touch. And that's the sensory input of the epidermis skin that makes us feel other people. It's a very social organ, like the eyes, the hearing, the taste. The epidermis skin has a lot to do with this tactile type of touch. So feel that epidermis skin outside. And I have heard students say it's really interesting when you breathe into the epidermis skin in the hands or chest or back or even the butt, right, or in the legs. It starts to really, the sensitivity starts to increase a lot. We become a lot more sensitive. So do this for a few breaths. And if you do have symptoms, skin symptoms, epidermis skin, like rash, like inflammation, like itchiness, then just ask yourself, where have you experienced a loss of touch, or a lack of touch, or some kind of experience that had to do with a touch that was not pleasant, where you still holding unresolved emotions and it bugs you, right? It triggers you. It maybe conflict active thoughts, repetitive thoughts popping into your head. Now, the moment you do that, you take that step, that next step, to be able to let it go. You can do this right now. Just decide to let it go. And you're going to be so much more aware about touch-related situations that affect your skin, your epidermis skin. Now, let me go to two more organs. One is the liver, which is a very, very important organ. And I haven't talked much about emotions because, like the skin, the skeletal system, there can be different emotions that we feel that basically are kind of blocked energetically in that skin or skeletal system. But the liver seems pretty clear, which matches totally this Chinese medicine, right? Liver has often a correlation to anger, and typically to kind of a starvation type of anger, which is a lack of life force, a lack of food, or a lack of money, a lack of support. Whatever we associate in a real biological sense with I'm starving, I don't have enough, and very often anger or some kind of anger-related type of emotions that connect to it. So let's take a few really fun, happy breaths into the liver. On the right side, just behind the ribs. Inhale, expand, and hold it for a second now. Let go. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold one more time. And continue breathing into the liver with your awareness going into liver, right? And your attention, your mind, even if you have distracted thoughts, whatever pops up, let it go back into the liver. Feel that liver. Every little part of that liver, it's a pretty big organ. Breathe in one more time with your attention, awareness in the liver. No, you're letting go any unresolved emotion in that liver and any trigger that might trigger you in the past. And now move to the back, move to your kidneys, left and right, also around the bottom area of your ribs, also big organs. Now try to breathe into both kidneys, left and right. Expand in your inhale and move your attention, your awareness, your thought, your presence into your kidneys. And you can always have a little, hold a little between inhale and exhale. I find this to be super revealing because it feels like a lot happens in this kind of present state between the breath. So 2 more times. Attention, awareness into the kidney, both kidneys, inhale. Hold. And while you hold, let go. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. And exhale. Continue inhaling and exhaling, and your attention, your awareness being in both kidneys. And just know kidneys have 2 main functions in our body. Overall, they're connecting with water, detox, and a lot of sub-functions, but they're very much connected to our water processing. And there's one part, the tubules, kidney tubules, they regulate water intake and release, especially if you have to deal with, or you're dealing with, let's say, weight loss, or a lot of edema, water in your body. Then look into your kidneys and ask, where is it that you feel isolated? Where is it that you feel maybe lonely? It's the kidney tubules have a lot to do with this kind of, I feel like I'm in the desert, I'm alone in the desert kind of biological experience. And just ask, how can I change that? And you change it one step at a time. That's why the social connection is so important. Breathe in, your attention, awareness in the kidneys. Let go of any isolation and fear or sadness. And another part of the kidney has to do with water, with also life force. It's that flow of life. So whenever you feel like you're not in the flow, then use the lifestyle prescriptions yoga and focus on your kidneys. Both, or maybe it's just one. Often it's just one side that is under stress, and just find out, know what the theme is. The reason why that symptom shows that, why that organ tissue shows symptom, and decide to let it go, to find a better solution. Remember, our symptoms are the most beautiful thing. Welcome your symptoms. They are giving you post signs. They tell you what you need to shift and change in your life. They are pure consciousness expressed in your body. And they're also habits. Our physical symptoms, our organ tissues, they go through different cycles of different habits. And habits we can change. So decide what's a different habit. How can you think and feel different and behave different? So my kidneys or any other part of my body goes back into auto-regulation, homeostasis. And that is what we call the art and science of self-healing. So I want to close with the sound part. If you've never tried sound healing or different sound type of methods, then I can only suggest it. To me, it makes the huge difference, and especially in the brain. So what I'd like you to do, you can pick now one organ tissue, one organ you like, or the whole body. And just feel every cell of that organ or your whole body. And we inhale, and on the exhale, you either just exhale a little bit louder and listen to the sound of the breath, like in your ears and the spot in the center of your brain, which is basically the limbic system, right? The ears and right in the center of your brain, you feel and you hear that sound. Or, so either you listen to the breath, the exhale, or you exhale with a slight sound like, or you can also use the om, which is one of these universal sounds like, so again, let's do this for about a minute or so together. So inhale and feel that organ tissue or your whole body. Exhale and hear the sound while you exhale, or make the sound om or humming, and hear it with your ears and the center of your brain. So you hear the exhale or the sound of the exhale with your ears, both ears, and you feel it in the center of your brain, while at the same time you feel every little cell in your body. Feel your body or a specific organ. Fill it with prana, life force, energy. Hear with your ears and feel it in the center of your brain, your limbic brain. One more time. Okay, everybody, please come back. Now, I just noticed when you have fun, time's flying, right? So that was a little bit more than 15, 20 minutes, but I hope you enjoyed that. And if you please, just now type a little something into the chat box, give me a little feedback, maybe what organ tissue you focused on, if it made sense to you that the stressors that affect these different parts of our body, and honestly, there is about 150 organ tissue in our body. Every single one reacts to different type of stress. It's not just, oh, stress affects our body. No, specific stress trigger, actually, specific emotion, specific thought process, they're connected and they are part of a certain organ tissue. So start to become aware of that. It's absolutely mind-blowing once you become aware and realize, and shift happens so much faster. Now, as I said before, everybody, I need you to join me and commit to something. Because we all know in our minds that, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to eat better, we need to meditate more, we need to da 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 da, right? That doesn't count. It doesn't mean anything. Let me be honest, right? I'm brutally honest here. What really counts is the actions we take. And one of the ways to do that is writing your own lifestyle prescriptions. Obviously, we use this in our health coaching work a lot, because when we have a doctor tells us you take this pill 5 times a day for the next 7 days, you do it, right? Or the possibility of doing it is way higher. And so the same thing is happening with lifestyle prescriptions. So what I'd like you to do, commit to the following. It's something super simple. So there's no excuse not to do it, except you're making up an excuse. And we don't want that, right? So take a piece of paper. If you have a lifestyle prescription, if not, a piece of paper, write on top my lifestyle prescription. And you're going to write down, my lifestyle prescription is for the next 7 days, twice a day, daily. So maybe evening one morning, one evening. 7 days, for the next 7 days, twice a day, 5 minutes. I do exactly this organ, mind, brain, yoga, breathing, giving it energy, raising the vitality of one specific organ, right? Don't jump around. We want to experiment here. You want to experiment. If you have a certain symptom, right, you can pick one organ that is and focus on that. If you just want to strengthen an area in your body, focus on that. So, and I type it into the chat box, right, in a minute once we're done here. So you see it written down. So lifestyle prescription, organ, mind, brain, yoga, one organ, you focus on one organ, do 5 minutes twice a day for the next 7 days. And again, you have to feel that. And this is the key. Once we commit, we say, yes, I'm going to do it, then you will do it. And we as a community, we're going to help and remind you, right? So again, thank you so much, guys, for listening. Join over the next 3 more weeks. There are a lot of amazing National Yoga Month speakers. I want to again thank Tilly from the Butterfly. Check her website out. Great tool, prop for yoga, for helping, for kind of helping us kickstart Yoga Month again. For Yilis, Rusgar, she's amazing, and brought so many wonderful speakers into National Yoga Month. So thank you, everybody. Now, again, you can replay this class again and again if you want to go through it on a daily basis and charge up your organs, right? And know that there is this organ-mind-brain connection, that every part of your body is absolutely vital. There's a purpose, there's a reason why we have it. And so treat it well. Thank you, guys. See you soon. And go to lifestyleprescriptions.tv if you want to study more organ, mind, brain anatomy, lifestyle prescriptions. Obviously, that's always available for you. Thank you. And post in the chat box now. Look at the chat box in a minute. I typed something in a second.